Today is day 13 of my 40-day spring detox. And today I'm going to be talking about journaling and the importance of journaling and all the different ways that I journal, because there's such richness that arrives from journaling. So thank you for joining me today. My name is Marise Tourigny. I've undertaken this 40-day spring detox. I'm enjoying very much. The weather outside is changing. We had, oh my God, maybe 4 feet of snow, and within just a couple of days, everything melted. There's no more snow. It's unbelievable. So my walks in nature have been very nice, and today I even saw a pussy willow. You probably see a picture right now. Very cool. So, what is it about journaling? I've been journaling intensely for about 15 years, and it started with questions that I had, and especially dealing with my emotions, and I had no one to talk to. So I kept a journal very much like this. I have many books of this style, and this is my kind of day-to-day, what's happening, what am I dealing with, maybe some inspiration I'll write, but it's more of a day-to-day stuff. What's happening in my life? What am I questioning? What am I dealing with? What do I need support with? And I remember in my first journals, there was a lot of help at the end of the writing. And I find this very helpful. It's kind of cool to look back at times in my life that I was going through something and what I would write. And I find it very helpful in the sense of reading back, and I was actually talking to myself saying, I need to do this and this and that because this is how I feel. So it's almost like when we're going through a situation, it's very confusing and foggy, and I always want to do the right thing. So I would write, and but it's like I'm giving myself the guidance that I need to hear. And then when I reread it, it's kind of like it was right there. It's very cool. I find that very helpful. Another type of journaling that I did maybe about 5 years ago, I did this 12-week program called The Artist Way. I'll reference the author in the comments below. But in The Artist Way, there are 2 things that she recommended doing. One was every day do what she called morning pages. Write 3 pages just of what's streaming in the mind and see what happens. And the other thing that she said was take yourself out on a date once a week. But coming back to the morning pages, I did those for almost a year. I went through so many journals where I would just write for 3 pages. It would take me about 25 minutes. And what I discovered is that at the beginning, it's just the active thought, like, oh, I don't know what to write. I need to be writing something. I'm not quite sure. And then all of a sudden, there's something that takes over, and that what lands on the paper is pure inspiration, as if it's coming from your inner teacher or your inner guidance. And it was really lovely to receive that guidance. I don't do the morning pages anymore. I just do my regular couple of pages that I write as to what's happening in my life. But one thing that I do is I do practice visual medicine, which is a beautiful art form of abstract paintings. And the paintings are pure creation. There's nothing interfering with the flow of paints. I have hundreds and hundreds of these paintings. And what I do is I utilize them as oracles to help bring the information that I need from my subconscious. So I'll write with the painting, and the painting will give me guidance. So it's almost like you can see all the different paintings and the journaling that I do. I hope you can see this. So the visual medicine is it's a beautiful art form and very powerful in pulling information from the subconscious to give me the guidance that I need in my day-to-day. And I've been doing this for some time now, and you can see my journal. I have another book and lots of these paintings. This is very powerful in really guiding me in finding the answers that I need to the questions that I have. So this is just a day dump, and this is actually going deeper in finding answers. Now, on the theme of finding answers, I have two other journals. One of them is a tarot tracker. So in here, I pull a tarot card every day, and I will write the card that I picked, and I'll reflect on it all day as to how did it show up. So I find this very helpful. And the other thing is a dream book. So I know dreams are a little bit mixed as to, are we just thinking or randomly at night? But it's our subconscious trying to bring order to what's happening. But also our subconscious brings information to us through dreams. And the more that I get interested in wanting to know my dreams and write them out, it's amazing how I will dream often. So there's periods in my life where I could not recall any dreams, and that's because I wasn't interested. But now that I have an interest in my dreams, my subconscious is just feeding them constantly to me. And what I do is I just keep this beside my bed with a pen, and I open it on a page. I write the date. So at the top of a blank page, I'll write the date at the top. And then when I wake up in the middle of the night and there's a dream top of mind, I'll just write it. So I keep my phone close, and I just have a little bit of light coming from my phone, and I'll write the dream down. And it's amazing. Sometimes it's just I have a date. So over here, March 10th, I wrote October 12th, something's going to happen. So in my dream, October 12th kept coming over and over again. So I wrote it down. I'm very interested in knowing what is going to happen on October 12th of this year, because that's what came through. But there's sometimes it's a long story that I write, and I find it fascinating because when I reread them, sometimes I forgot the dream completely, and I'm reading a story, and I find it really fascinating. But as I write the dreams down, there is symbolism and indications as to what I'm learning. So what my subconscious is trying to bring to my conscious mind. Very powerful. The tarot too, the tarot is an art form. They're images. Again, it's a different kind of image that is sharing. It's kind of like a book that's unbinded. So all the pages are loose, and you can create a story with all the different cards depending on the order. And what the cards are trying to indicate is the story of life and the different phases that we go through and the different challenges that we experience, and it's the journey of the soul coming into this life and trying to figure things out with our parents and teachers, and then having an ego and identity and moving forward and creating in the world, and all of, it goes on, but the pulling a card is, there's an energy about it, and it's sharing a little bit of what is the subconscious wanting to bring to my conscious mind. So I'll ask a question, what's my message for today, and I'll pick a card, and the card will sometimes, it's pretty accurate in terms of what I'm dealing with. And when I do readings to my clients or my friends, they're always amazed at what the information brings forth, because how can I know what's happening in their lives? But really what I'm doing is I'm interpreting the cards, and the cards are telling me the story of what might be happening. So it's super powerful, super mystical, and I absolutely love it. So why do I journal so much? I journal because my conscious mind is such a small part of the knowing of what's really happening. My higher self is the one that has the big picture. So by journaling, what happens is I get my conscious mind out of the way to allow the inspiration from my higher self to come through. That's what happens when I journal with the visual medicine, and when I do more of a longer writing. It's allowing the inspiration to flow through from my higher self or my inner teacher. That is where the truth is. My conscious mind or my ego mind doesn't know so much. It likes to think it knows everything and control, but that's not the case. Anyhow, journaling is very therapeutic. It helps to release, those, when I first started journaling, I had a lot of emotion, and it was a release, it was an outlet. And also through the outlet, there was information that came back to support, because it got me asking the questions. And isn't life just a series of questions? As we ask the questions, the answers come. And the support always came right when I needed it the most, and I just stepped into it, and things moved from there. So it's kind of like creating this relationship with the inner teacher. It's creating that relationship with our higher self, so that knowing that we're not alone. There is some a higher energy or guides that are working with us. And I notice that in my writing, and I find it fascinating to reread, and the responses that I get is incredible. So I think everybody should be journaling, because again, it's a way of outlet, but it's also a way of being informed by a source that's beyond our conscious mind. So I hope that you found this helpful. This is just these are just a few journals that I'm working on right now as I go through my life, not only on this 40-day detox, but ongoing. And I absolutely love it. So again, I hope this was helpful. Get yourself a journal, start writing, and even if you don't know what you're supposed to write, just write 3 pages a day of anything, and you'll be surprised as to what you find. So thank you for joining me today, and I will see you again tomorrow for day 14. Subscribe and like, and I'll see you tomorrow.